headlines are out, the debate have started, and the front pages are already shaping conversations across the country this Wednesday morning. Good morning and welcome to the newspaper review on JDN Radio 101.5 FM, broadcasting for all. I am Abiodun Samson, taking you through the major headlines making the front pages of the dailies this Wednesday, the 20th of May 2026. And on the stand this morning, I have the Guardian newspaper, the Nigerian Tribune, the Punch, the Nation, and also Daily Post. So stay with me as we examine the stories making waves across Nigeria. And I will be starting with the Guardian for this morning with this headline that says APC crisis deepens as aspirant challenge consensus, governor's choices, Oyo attack, abductions heighten regional security agitations. Dambazwa says non-state actors in Sahel possesses 14 meters firearms. EFCC arrests convicted ex-power minister after 75 years jail sentence. Also, Ebola. World Health Organization raises the alarm as death toll hits 131. And on the Nigerian Tribune for this morning, I have this headline that says, no terrorist base in Southwest, says DHQ. And with these riders, that says, intensifies search for abducted pupils in Oyo. IJP deploys more detectives in community. Traditional rulers in Ogbomosho land demands military base. 6 suspects in police net. Article demands rescue of victim. NLC PFN condemns attack. Also on the Nigerian Tribune for this morning, the 20th of May, Nigerian must not fall, Gowon tells Tinubu, other politicians. President Ibebi Jonathan orders hail Gowon at autobiography launch. EFCC arrests convicted ex-power minister Sela Maman in Kaduna. NASA issues Ebola alert, direct enhanced surveillance at airport. Turaki-led PDP declares Jonathan sole presidential candidate, grants him screening waiver. And those are the headlines from the Nigerian Tribune for this morning. And on the Punch newspaper for this morning, APC primaries, governorship aspirant shunned consensus, deal in 10 states. How EFCC hunted down ex-power minister Maman. Danjuma saved Gowon's Abuja land from El Rufai. 2027, ADC predicts earthquake as Turaki PDP clears Jonathan. Troops tracking Oyo kidnappers after direct contact, says DHQ. Federal government misses Q1 tax target by 2.2 trillion naira. OT Abure truce crumbles amid Labour Party crisis. Aspirant faults APC senatorial primaries in Ekiti orders. 40 Southwest local government under terror threat, Gani Adams. And those are the headlines that made it to the Punch newspaper for this morning. And moving forward to the nation for this morning with this headline that says, Amechi, I didn't buy form to be Atiku's running mate. Killed ISIS terrorist now 175, says DHQ. And also on the nation, I never wanted to be head of state, says Gowon in memoir. Kwara, Abdurazak endorses Seriki as successor. Also on the nation, alleged 76 billion naira EFCC witness admits no direct benefit trace to ex-Amcon boss. And those are the stories from the nation for this morning. If you're just tuning in, it's to the newspaper review on your dial 101.5 FM. And this morning, I will be starting with the story from the headline from the Guardian newspaper. APC crisis deepens as aspirant challenge consensus and governor choices. It's a showdown in 28 states as attention shifts to the battle for the ruling All Progressive Congress APC governorship ticket tomorrow. Ahead of the APC governorship primary on Thursday, the battle for the 2027 governorship ticket has thrown Kwara State into the national spotlight after the state emerged with the highest number of governorship aspirants. A development political observer says reflects shifting power calculations, regional anxieties, and widening discontent within the state political structures. From the document obtained from the ruling party yesterday on the list of aspirants who purchased expression of interest and nomination form, Kwara recorded 16 governorship contenders, the highest figure among 28 states listed by the APC. According to the document, a total of 101 governorship aspirants from 28 states purchased the nomination form under the APC platform. The unusual large number of aspirants has already triggered intense political debate across the state, especially over which senatorial district should produce the next governor after the tenure of Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazak. And the story continues on the Guardian newspaper for this morning. Still on the Guardian newspaper, where they said, and that says, Oyo attack, abductions heighten regional security agitations. The recent Oyo school abduction and killings of a teacher who have intensified calls for state police and regional security outfits with factions of the Oodua People's Congress, OPC, Yoruba activists Sunday Igboho, and traditional hunters urging the federal government to empower local groups to confront armed gangs in the southwest. Last Friday, armed bandits attacked communities in Orire local government area of Oyo State, abducting pupils and teachers from Community High School, Ahoro Isinle, and others residents. Several persons were reportedly killed, and one of the kidnapped teachers, Mr. Michael OYEDELE, has later beheaded after a video linked to the incident surfaced online. We cannot continue to fold our hands while bandits and terrorists invade our towns and villages to kidnap and kill at will. Enough is enough. The government must support and equip willing groups like the OPC to enter the forest and restore sanity, said a statement by Otumba Wasiu Afolabi, president of the late Dr. Frederick Fasheun factions. Also, the group led by the national coordinator of the OPC, Gani Adams, condemns the killing and abductions. Adam sees the opportunity to renew calls for state police as the only solution to address the incessant killings and kidnappings across the country. And the story continues on the Guardian newspaper for this morning. And moving forward to the Punch newspaper with this headline that says 2027 ADC predicts earthquake as Turaki PDP clears Jonathan. The Taminu Turaki led interim fractional National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party on Tuesday screened 12 governorship aspirants ahead of the 2027 election while granting automatic clearance to former President Goodluck Jonathan as the party's sole presidential aspirant. Chairman of the PDP INWC Screening Committee and former Vice President Unnamadi Sambo, represented by the former Niger State Governor Babangida Aliyu, made the disclosure while answering questions from journalists after the screening exercise in Abuja on Tuesday. Reacting, the African Democratic Congress says Jonathan's joining the presidential race will alter the country's political calculations and trigger fresh strategic thinking across the party lines. Jonathan, who served as president between 2010 and 2015, was reportedly granted a waiver on Tuesday by a PDP screening panel headed by Aliyu, paving the way for a possible return for the presidential race. Though the development is yet to receive formal confirmation from the national leadership of the PDP, if it has already generated intense debate within political circles, an analyst suggesting that Jonathan's reemergence could reshape alignment ahead of the next general elections. And the story continues on the Punch newspaper for this morning. Still on the Punch with this headline that says APC primaries, governorship aspirant shuns consensus deals in 10 states. Ahead of Thursday's governorship primaries of the All Progressive Congress, resistance to consensus arrangements has intensified in at least 10 states, as several aspirants rejected pressure to step down and insisted on testing their popularity at the polls. The growing pushback comes despite efforts by party leaders and governors in many states to streamline the primaries through endorsement negotiations and consensus agreements aimed at avoiding divisive contests ahead of the 2027 general elections. It was gathered that while incumbent governors in several APC-controlled states have successfully secured consensus backing for second-term tickets, successive battles in states such as Kwara, Gombe, Oyo, Adamawa, Bauchi, Plateau, Lagos, Nasarawa, Rivers, and Yobe remain fiercely contested. The APC had fixed the cost of its governorship expression of interest form at 10 million naira and nomination form at 40 million naira. Findings indicated that the ruling party generated about 5.05 billion naira from the sales of form to 101 governorship aspirants nationwide. The party is scheduled to conduct governorship primaries in 28 states on Thursday, May 21st, with direct primaries to be adopted in states where consensus arrangement failed. Appeal rising from the exercise are expected to be aired on May 24. And the story continues on the Punch newspaper for this morning. Still on the Punch with this headline that says, how EFCC hunted down ex-Power Minister Maman. Details have emerged on how operatives of the Economic and Financial Crime Commission tracked the arrested former Minister of Power, Salem Maman, in Kaduna State. After weeks of surveillance and intelligence gathering, the EFCC also arrested 2 persons alleged to have harbored the former minister while he was on the run. Maman was convicted on 12 counts of money laundering and fraud amounting to 33.8 billion naira, linked to the diversion of funds from the Mambilia and Sungera hydropower projects. Source within the commission disclosed that the operatives spread their dragnet in search of Maman immediately after the Federal High Court in Abuja sentenced him to 75 years imprisonment in absentia last week. According to the source, the former minister was eventually tracked through his phone and found in an apartment in the Rigaza area of Kaduna State. Immediately the judgment was delivered, we spread our dragnet in search of him following weeks of intensive surveillance and intelligence gathering, but we eventually tracked him with his phone and found him in an apartment in the Rigaza area of Kaduna. 2 people who harbored him have also been arrested. One of the sources said the EFCC has earlier confirmed Maman's arrest during the press briefing in Abuja on Tuesday. And the story continues on the Punch newspaper for this morning. Still on the Punch, troops tracking Oyo kidnappers after direct contact, DHQ. The Defense Headquarters on Tuesday said troops currently engaged in search and rescue operations have made contacts with the abductors of the pupils and teachers. It also debunked the rumors that terrorist group has established permanent operational base in the southwest, insisting that the recent attack in Oyo State were isolated criminal incidents. This comes amid the ongoing military operations following the abductions of pupils and staff from Baptist Nursery and Primary School, Yawota Community Grammar School, Ahoro Isinle, and local government area primary school in Orire, local government area of Oyo State. In a statement on Tuesday, the Director of Defense Media Relations, Major General Michael Onoja, said the military was deploying the full weight of its operational capacity to rescue the victims. Troops made contact with the criminal element 2 days ago, have since reorganized and are continuing to search the pursuit operation with full determination. Working in close coordination with relevant security agencies and armed forces, is conducting intensive joint operation across forest corridors and ungoverned spaces in the zones. The Defense Headquarters wishes to assure all Nigerians, particularly residents of the Southwest, that its own troops are currently deployed and actively operating within the forest in pursuit of the perpetrators and in search of the abducted victims. And the story continues on the Punch newspaper for this morning. as you know that we want you to be part of the newspaper review on JDN Radio 101.5 FM in the next 2 to 3 minutes, and you can do that by calling into the studio line on 07048 001015 and 08022102163. And you can also drop your comment on Facebook on JDN Radio 101.5 FM and also on YouTube on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. So we have a comment from Dr. Mrs. Olibara from Owerri State. She said, "As sad the Nigerians is bleeding and every new day comes with painful stories of killing, fear, kidnapping and hopelessness. A situation where children and teachers are kidnapped in schools leaves much to be desired. Our children are now afraid of going to school and it's invariably affecting their educations, and parents are afraid of sending their children to school." She further said that security is the basic responsibility of government and it must rise up urgently and proactively to this. Enough of rhetorics, and they beheaded the teacher. Chai, Nigerian lost educationists. May God comfort families of those affected by this tragedy as we pray for safe returns of those still in captivity. And that is a comment from our Facebook page. And as she said, that may God comfort families of those affected by this tragedy as we pray for safe returns of those that are still in captivity. And on the note, I will be calling it a wrap on the newspaper review on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. And as you know that the newspaper review continues tomorrow, same time, 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. So if you have any reactions to any of the headlines that made it to the front page of any of the dailies that I've read this morning, do not worry that you can always give your comments, your opinions about any of it in the Yoruba language translation on AFONIROYIN shortly after I leave here in the next 4 minutes. And do not forget, I keep it locked down to this frequency, JDN Radio 101.5 FM, the only radio station that is broadcasting for all. I remain Abiodun Samson. Till then, keep it locked down as AFONIROYIN comes up shortly.
Radio. Radio Agbadunu.